it is great to be here. Right, so it's great to be here. As I said yesterday on our Go Blue website, this has been as unique a nine months that anybody could have in their life, between a great run to the national title game, winning the Big Ten tournament, having an opportunity at least to discuss and think about being the Detroit Pistons coach, and then being shocked by a need for a double bypass. So first of all, what I'd like to say too is to all of you, thank you for respecting my privacy over these last 6 weeks. That is really, it was extremely professional by everybody. And that it was, I know some people made some requests and you did not bother Tom, you didn't do anything. We did have a few people trying to take pictures at different parts of the hospital at different times, but we caught them in time, but they were just people, they were not you guys. So I've been blessed with that had no signs or anything. I've been blessed where we caught it earlier, so you're not doing a bypass after a heart attack. They caught the blockages early, and they caught the blockages probably not early enough, but they caught them so we could take care of them, and I feel great. I'm still not there, but I expect by the beginning of the season us to be that there should be no difference, and that's it. We start practice today, and I'm excited about these guys. Bunch of things have happened. That we've gone from 4 hours, 2 hours a week with the players to 4 hours. We went to Europe. There's another 10 days of practice. And now 4 hours these last 3 weeks that I've actually been able to be a part of most of those. And it's really changing my timetable for things that we do. So that's been really encouraging. I like this team. As you know, you got to have everything go right. You got to stay injury-free. I also like the league. I think the league is going to be one of those years where there's 6 or 7 teams, if not 8, that are like in it at the end, not the 4 or 5 that we had last year. The reason we had 4 or 5 last year, because everybody was young. People were developing. Well, now those teams have developed, and some of us have lost more than a few, but it's still going to be, and so we're going to have our work cut out for us. But I think everybody in the league is going to be stronger, and we'll have many, many teams in the NCAA tournament. So with that being said, thank you again to everybody for all that. I probably followed more of you. I followed some of you on Twitter because that was I missed you. But now we're ready to roll, and I look forward to you seeing practices. We're going to do a couple things with our team, just in a meeting and film, and we always show them the Bo Schembechler speech of the team before the first day of practice. But we're going to do that for a little bit. That we're going to walk through a couple things and do some mobility, and then you'll be able to watch the first hour, Tom?
Yep.
First hour of practice. So let's go. I'm ready for any questions.
Ethan, why don't you start us off?
Has there been any catch-up for you in terms of after missing Spain, obviously, with your recovery, maybe the freshman or anything like that?
No, I think that what's really helped Ethan is that the 4 hours instead of the 2 hours, that we can be with him. And I did not do any, normally in the first 2 weeks of September, I would have been on the road every day. But it was not recommended that I hit the road right away. And so I only made two recruiting trips, and that was it. And they were both by car. So I was able to make up for some of that, where usually it's the kids get here Labor Day and the coaches coach 2 days, and we'll see you in October because we're out recruiting. I would go 5 days a week, but now I didn't do that because it was not at the recommendations of the doctors. But I think I've caught up in a lot of those areas, especially with the freshmen. And I was with them all the way till August 6th.
James?
Hey, John, you look well.
Thanks.
I just want to make sure you said you're not, I guess, 100% fully recovered yet.
Yeah, there's some recovery. When you have double bypass surgery, I mean, they basically open your chest right up. So you can imagine there's a lot of soreness still, but they say this is all part of it. I've got so many people have called me and said, I had this done. These 8 to 12 weeks are really hard, and it is. It's harder than ever. My dad went through it like 40 years ago, and I just said, Dad's tough with all the stuff that the research is not nearly as tough as it must have been for him, so I got a whole new respect there. But it's still, I can't move around, I can't throw a chest pass, I can't yell yet, but I expect to be able to do that.
Is there like any forms of rehab, I guess? Are you
Oh,
doing?
yeah, I started yesterday, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have some some nurses and some rehab people, they wanna do to me what I do to my team. So they had me, my first workout was yesterday, all wired up, and that's how they do it. Incredible research, incredible resources over there at the university's hospital.
And I know you said this procedure kind of came out of left field. Was it just like a?
Stress, I do a routine stress test every year. And I actually missed it the first time because I had to go recruiting. And sort of the way I live my life, I'm in the middle of it, and I had the first part of my physical, I always do it at the end of the year. And they said, well, it's time for the stress test. And I said, I only got 30 minutes, I gotta catch a flight. So they said, well, let's do it later, and I actually wasn't going to do it. And I said, because it's no fun, they get you on a treadmill, they run you until you, and then they lay you down. It's no fun. Everybody get a stress test, just get one at some point, because it really, who knows what would have happened.
On that note, do you have
Hi.
fresh appreciation maybe for life?
I've had a few of those last year. I think they invited us to do a simulated air crash again, and I said, no thanks. I'd rather not go through that again. And so, yeah, there's been a few things happen in my life that are really, but I think I've gravitated that way as it is.
Do you talk to your kids about that, having the appreciation for being able to play the game, be student athletes?
My team?
Yes.
No, I mean, we do it almost every day, this appreciation for being a Michigan student athlete, but no, not like that, not like this. But I think that hopefully I'll live it, and I want to talk about it, they'll see it.
How about some basketball? Off a national championship run
Yep.
to the game. Where do you pick up? Do you start all over? Do you take? How do you kind of?
Well, we're a little bit ahead, only because we did the European trip, but we do have, if you look at our scholarship situation, 12 guys, almost half of them are freshmen. Almost half, so that's a big thing, that where in some years it was just Mo Wagner, and then there was 2 or 3 guys. This is 5 guys. So that we have, but we're further ahead than any other time we've been because of the European trip, and the staff did a great job.
Right in the middle with Andrew.
Coach, welcome back.
Thanks, Andy.
Coaching is, an inherently stressful job. I mean, the late nights and traveling and things
Yeah.
like that. Have the doctors recommended any lifestyle changes once the season started for you, or no?
Oh, boy. I'm sure that, we haven't got to that part yet. We're gonna start, I have another session tomorrow. And there's all these stress management things that I'm gonna do, and all these things that I think every coach goes through during a year to try to make sure that you stay healthy. And there's no question, I'm gonna stay healthy, I'm gonna be in great shape, I can coach for a while. But less stress, I think everybody needs that in life, right? Andrew, I think you probably do too. And we all need that in life, and I'm gonna embrace it.
And then when you watched tape from the Spain games, I
Yeah.
guess, what were your initial?
Well, I was getting it, Tommy did some, and then they zip it to me and watch it right away. It was not as interesting and informative as I thought it would be. It was frustrating not to be a part of it. At the same time, we have been showing video to our guys, these little 20-minute clips, almost once a week, 30 minutes once a week of those, the games. And it's really been great for our guys to learn from.
All right.
John, during recovery, was there ever any concern you would miss part of the regular season?
No, not really. That's why, there was some thought Thursday, you want to go to Spain and do it later on? And I said, and then Kathleen was not having anything to do with that. So I said, well, this would be perfect. That if you're out of it for 5 to 6 weeks, you're out of circulation, and then for another 2 months, you're really recovering and rehabbing. I said, that's perfect. If we do it August 6th, our first game's November 6th, there's 12 weeks to get ready. So it never was under consideration.
Right to your left with Tom.
John, I'm still having a hard time getting used to this September 25th
Yeah.
start of basketball practice. You had the European trip. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm old, so I've been following
Yeah.
college basketball multiple years. Is this too long? I mean, kids burn out maybe in end of January, where
Yeah.
this season is just too
You
doggone long.
do have to watch it. If you compare, I love our football team right now, and you look at their schedule, or their practice, August, September, October, November, 4 months. And then they got hopefully every year they get a bowl game. But that's still like, okay, take a couple weeks off and let's get ready for so that was what, 4, right? And then we go, now we go October, November, December, January, February, March, right? That's 6 months. But I do like that when you started October 15th and you went 20 hours a week, it beat the hell out of the kids and the coaches that you were on it for 6 days a week. This allows us to go to more progressive, reduce the injuries, allow them to get more acclimated to their classes. I think it's been a good change. And we just have to manage the year so that we're not burning them out early. And that's the thing, get the team and keep growing and growing until you get to February, and hopefully then they're the team. They do it without you having to do a whole lot.
We'll stay here with Noah.
Actually, I had a stress test a couple months ago. so
Way to
it's a
go.
long-
Way to go.
It's a long story. The job that Sadi did and the staff while you were gone, do you have a sense of how, I guess, how much they were able to sort of take advantage of that opportunity and how the kids handled it and what's sort of the level of maturity that the players had to have?
Yeah, I said yesterday, I can just see it right now with everybody. Because I'm not, this is as loud as I might have talked so far. I'm not out there, your chest still, like you sneeze or you cough, your chest really hurts. So you're sort of, you can't project. So I've just seen it, right? Sadi, Dre, and Luke will just, I'll call them over, let's move to the next one, and boom, we're into it. So this is the growth that when there was probably a 5-minute span where we all discussed, should we do the trip or not, once we found out. And I was 100% on board. Let's do the trip. This is what we all need. And with these 5 freshmen, you can't pass on this opportunity. And I'm so glad we stayed united in that and said, we had to discuss it. But I said, no, I was really in favor. You got to do it. I'll be fine, but you guys will be better. And we have seen it, to answer the question.
Brendan?
I don't know how your benchmarks go for what you can do when, but are the exhibition scrimmage, do you think or are you just looking at that opening game?
I plan on coaching those things. There's no question. I haven't missed hardly any practice. It's just different. I just stand in the middle and sort of talk with them. Probably the way a lot of coaches do coach. And so no, I don't think there's any. We have a scrimmage and we have a exhibition game, and I should be normal in those things.
And there's no preparing for something like this, and I wonder what was, whether physically or mentally, whatever, what was just kind of the most trying thing that weighed on you the most during this whole process?
I think the initial shock of that you're going to have this done, and then when you wake up and you realize what just happened to you, your heart's been stopped, right, for a long period of time, and you've been carved open, and that you just think about, wow, what just happened, and it's great, but you really, the doctors were incredible, but you realize just that was literally life-changing for everyone. So, but they get you right out, and I was just concerned that that was a long time of just, all right, another step every day. But within a week, Kathleen and I were walking 5 miles a day within a week. So, but it was long. So imagine that I was out of it for 5 weeks, out of it. I was reading. I read a great book, The Arsenal of Democracy. It's about the Fords and the World War II and everything we did out at Willow Run. It was a fascinating book. I read a lot. Cardinals got hot. Man, we've been hot. That was a big thing. So I've been able to get through it.
And to be a rather hands-on coach, CEO of the program, what was that? Did you learn anything through the process of kind of having to take a step back and?
Yeah, I think that my trust levels are going up and more, and there's no reason not to have a trust level, but it was just you're accustomed to handling it yourself and delegating more. So I have no problem when Sadi takes over a practice to different parts. I have no problem with it, and I never should have, but it was just a personal thing. That's your You know, you're an alpha dog during practice and you just sort of go after it. I don't feel like I don't have to be every minute.
Over here with Chris.
Lots of turnovers in those first 2 games in Spain. It probably could have been real
Yeah.
good for your health. But what were your initial impressions of your team?
Yeah, it was just like you sort of expect. We're paid way too much if it was that easy. And all those guys they're trying to fit together. They got new roles. You know what they're doing. The teams we played were much different than the Italian teams we played 4 years ago, which gave us a false sense of who we are. But they realize it. We'll go over today. You know, we try to figure out why, when Michigan wins, why they won. And one of them is we don't turn the ball over. So that's you know, we'll talk about the stats of all those things and why that works. So yeah, it's a concern, but that's why we did the trip.
And then another one of the hot takes was the shooting.
Yep.
Is that a major concern of yours on this
Well,
team?
you know what? The line was that much
Yeah.
further. And for Duncan Robinson and maybe Jordan Poole, that is not a big deal. But for the rest of our guys, that's probably a pretty big deal right now. And so I think it was that. And then we didn't really shoot a lot. We probably, you know, never got really comfortable with it. We didn't have workouts in between. You know, we were limited to, we could play 3 games, that's it. There's no practices, there's nothing. So I think that may have gotten in the way. But let's face it, we lost our 3 top shooters. I mean, that's a lot of threes in those 3, and high percentage guys. So we have to replace that somehow. And, you know, I think we have guys that can shoot. I don't think, with the exception of 1 or 2, they've ever been volume 3-point shooters. Just, that's what they do. And really Duncan, I mean, Muhammad certainly wasn't coming in, but he became a really good one. So that personality change is important with our guys. It's okay to go 0 for 3, because I might go 3 for 3.
Over on your right, Casey.
How's it going, Coach?
Good, Casey.
What is this past experience, the last 9 months, taught you as a coach? And do you think you have a better appreciation for the game?
I think that, well, I appreciate this game, Casey. That is, I think I appreciate health a lot more, that's for sure. And that if you just keep doing the next right thing, all kinds of things can happen in life. Embrace sudden change, anything that could change suddenly for you. And, you know, as we did, whether we were, all of a sudden we're Big Ten champs, and now we're faced with going to Wichita and playing, and we're down by 2 points with 3 or 4 seconds to go, and we win. And then all of a sudden we're beating everybody, and then all of a sudden you're down double digits to Villanova real soon in the second half. Just continue to adapt, get better, grow. And so the whole thing has been for a guy who doesn't feel old, or I hope I don't look old. I continue to learn like crazy, Joe, just embracing whatever journey God plans for you.
And talk about the freshman class that you have. What's impressed you about this group?
Well, Ignis is the one that would stand out to everybody just now because he led us in scoring and rebounding. And he's really got some great instincts about the game itself. And we got to find a place for him out there, right? And we're going to try to make him very versatile so he can wear a lot of hats. And then Brandon Johns is a guy that I think that has showed some great growth in this time, right? And he's got a chance to play right away. He's got the body that's ready to do that, right? David DeJulius has got that body that's ready as well. Now he's the quarterback, right? He's the guy that's got to sort of figure this out. He's McCafferty last year, right? Yep. It would be tougher to throw him in and have the success he's having right now. So he's learning all these things, but he could get out. He could end up getting out there. And Adrian's, there's a whole bunch of things more than being a shooter, and he's going to be a good shooter, but he's making great progress. And then Colin, now we doubled that. You heard his hand, and he's he was turning 18 just about the day that he came to summer school, or in that month. So young kid, he's getting better.
Thanks, John. Good to see you again.
Over here with John.
Coach, do the defensive advances you've made in the last couple of years give you sort base to work off of as the shooting's coming up? And among the guys you just talked about, are there any that have sort of that natural bent, like a Xavier or a Charles Matthews?
Yeah, I think a couple of them are gonna be able to do that. I think they just gotta understand, it's just not me and this guy I'm guarding. You know, we spent a lot of time guarding your man, the ball, and then action. We did it earlier this year than ever before. That there's action happening, I got my man, I'm off the ball, but what's the action? Reading the action. Because we see just all kinds of different offenses now. And rather than wait till 3 weeks into practice, we started to throw them, because we had done shuffles, we had done shell drills, we had done so many things because of the extra practice. Let's get right to this stuff. And so that freshmen can play earlier. Two of those guys are gonna have to play. We only got 7 guys returning. 2 of them, if we're gonna do 9 or 10 minute rotation, 2 or 3, those 3 guys gotta find their way into that lineup, and we gotta get them ready. Then defense is what keeps most freshmen off. Defense is in strength is what keeps most freshmen off the floor. And so this is one, we're trying to work at both.
Take a couple more. James?
John, you have the Pistons that have their training camp here. Are you guys able to like watch their practice, you and the players?
Yeah, we watched the whole practice today.
How beneficial is that for the players to see, you know, how
But I think the players are gonna, we gotta find the time, because they're in class during the day, another time for them to come in, but it's really good. If anything, it's reinforcement. Where they're watching how they're playing, and they're watching what Coach, and they can hear what Coach Casey's saying, and it's the same thing, in many ways very similar to what they'd hear in our practice or any other college or pro practice. So it reinforces those fundamentals are really key. And so it's, anytime that they can hear it, it makes us more credible. It makes any coach more credible.
And I know you're always evolving as a coach. Is it beneficial for you too?
Oh, yeah.
Pick up things?
Yeah, we also had another NBA team come in and just do their retreat here. They did a retreat here, allowed us to come to all the meetings. So those 2 games are coming closer and closer together. I see the 24-second clock not too far away. So you gotta continue to evolve as a coach and to keep up with it. But anytime that we can have discussion with NBA teams, we all learn, both ways.
And you mentioned Tom Sandy, full go, you know, does he have any limitations with practice?
No, he just got cleared. His first scrimmage was Saturday. So we had him do drills for a little bit, and he did it. He made it 60 and 5, which he wasn't doing at the beginning, and that was really good. That was, you know, having a, you know, we're gonna, and John Teskey has shot the ball really well, but having a big man that can shoot, you all see what can happen. It made everybody else better last year. Having John be able to do that, and Colin be able to do that, and Austin's more of a 15-foot guy. Those are big to get those big men that can shoot.
Lastly, we'll close with Chris.
Your thoughts on Austin's progress over the last year?
Yeah, if I was really, I wasn't surprised, I was excited about what he did over against big boys. You watch those Spain teams, those teams were good. And for him to be able to get offensive rebounds, what he's got to do is just get the stuff that really, we've never really lived off. You know, the Loyola game was one of the times we lived off the boards because they were so small. But we don't live off of that the way some teams do. That's where his lifeblood should be. He got great hands. He got a great body. He can get in there and wedge people. Johnny can do the same thing. So we like that. We like that. And he went from a big time scout player to now I gotta think and play. And it took him back a little bit. Now his thinking is faster, and he's getting better and better. So John Teskey though has had a good summer and spring. So I expect John to be a favorite there to win that spot. But Austin's going to give him heat every single day, and who knows what will happen by November 6th.
And then are you comfortable with Jordan Poole and the Muhammad role of being that guy that can get to the rack?
Yeah, I think, and because he played 3 last year, he can play both. So that's really going to give us some flexibility. And I think you noticed we got Iggy playing the 2 and the 4. This is like the 3rd time I've done this. It's a unique thing to have, but I had a left-handed player at Richmond named Scott Unger who did both. Right? And then we had Johannes Ehrbear did it at West Virginia, did it both. Scott Hicks did it for me, Lemoyne did them both. And that really is it's a really interesting combo position. But if you got the body and you got the size and you got some toughness, you can really do it. And it really will help our rotation if we can make that work.
Hey, Coach.
Okay, thanks everybody.